Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
It's us. I'm Lynn.
I'm Nicole. I'm from episode 2.
And I'm RJ, and I am not keeping track of which episodes I'm in.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so today we are discussing friendships.
Before we get started, I would like to mention that we are eating lunch right now, so apologies for any random munching noises.
Yeah.
Okay, let's begin.
Cool.
So first we're going to discuss...
What makes a good friendship and pretty much what friendship is in general.
Yeah.
So
what are your opinions on that?
Okay, I shall begin. I think what makes a good friendship to begin is trust and communication. And I've talked about communication before, and I still think it's a key thing. I think communication has to be like the ultimate baseline, because you're not going to have trust, and you're not going to know the other person, and you're not going to be able to connect to the other person unless you actually talk to them, get to know them, and make sure that you just like communicate in general on like, I guess, where you are as friends almost. Like, especially I hear lots of stories about when people get into fights, and most of the time it's because they thought somebody was saying something about them, but it was actually only like seventh hand and information coming from some random source, and there's no conflict at all. So communication
for sure. I also think like both of you genuinely have to like each other. I mean to be around each other. So that's kind of an obvious one, but just throwing it out there.
An important one.
An important one. You don't want to be friends with someone you hate.
I feel like most friendships start around a common interest or a common thing. Like, you don't just walk up to a random person on the street and say, hey, let's be friends. You walk up to a random person on the street and say, hi, I really like your outfit. No, we don't do that. We do not do that.
Why not?
Guest introduction, this is Taighe.
Yeah.
Hi.
All right.
My name is known by at least 2/3 of you.
Okay, and no, that's actually really funny because one of my best friends in elementary school, I was drinking at the water fountain, and then she just walked up behind me and she's like, "Hey, you want to be best friends?" And that was that.
Yeah,
okay.
I was
That's more of an elementary school thing. Do you do that?
Not really.
Really?
That's how I've made actually a lot of my friends. Like you, for example, when you walked into math class and I was like, hey, come and sit with me. I didn't really give you a choice also. You were just like, oh, Miss.
The common thing was math class, though. We weren't friends just because you said, hey, we were friends because we were sitting next to each other in math class.
Yeah, but I told you to come and sit next to me. That's not really a common interest. I mean, we found common interests, but like...
Do you think that friendship would have really lasted unless we'd found those common interests, though?
Fair enough, but that's not the reason we technically started talking to each other.
Okay, just because you talk to someone doesn't mean you have to be friends, and I feel very... Okay, yeah.
So here's our master list of things you need in a friendship.
Okay, let's come up with the top 5 things.
Trust. Communication.
You need to like each other. Common interests, I guess.
Okay, something in common.
Okay,
so
let's just say, at least one thing in
a
common.
lasting friendship, you're going to need common interests.
Yeah.
Or something in common.
Yeah.
Something in common.
Common interests. And then last one.
You need to be happy around that person.
Yeah, just be happy generally.
Yeah. Like, there are people who you can say you're friends with, and even though, like, you have a good time with them, a lot of the times they have, like, at least, like, emotionally a negative impact on you, and that's not good. So,
that's a
we
good
can use
segue.
that to segue into healthy and toxic friendships.
Okay.
Wow.
So, do you guys have any experiences with this?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, me too.
Okay, before we delve in, I would like to say that I have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I never get peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and this is delicious.
I had a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I already ate it, though.
Yeah. Okay, back to friendship.
Sorry.
Okay, so, toxic. Stay away.
Nice.
It's really not a good experience, especially if you think someone's your friend and then they're just
they
like,
turn out to not be.
Yeah.
That was my experience.
I mean, mine was more like, I don't know, like, I thought it was good for me or something, but it just turns out to be really negative.
Yeah.
And you don't really realize how unhappy you are until you step back and realize, like, wow, I'm genuinely just, I don't know.
Good.
Yeah, life is kind of sucking right now just because of the people I hang around.
Or
I
sometimes
agree.
you don't realize how toxic or how bad you feel around a certain person just because that's who you think you hang out with or should hang out with, until you actually find someone you genuinely like and want to hang out
And it's
with.
actually quite hard to transition from, like, I hate to use this word, but friend groups.
Ooh, friend groups.
Is it okay if I accompany this crew?
Yes.
Of course, always.
We're doing a
We
podcast.
are
We're doing a podcast.
being joined
Yes.
by time now.
Sorry, I have my stuff everywhere.
So, yeah, it's...
So we were just talking about toxic friendships.
Toxic friendships? Okay, let's see. I've got a lot. If you're always the one who's like asking to hang out and they're never giving anything, they're like agreeing, but it's not
They're
like
not
mutual. It's not like, it's like they're agreeing just to say yes.
Yeah.
And it's like misery for them. That is a toxic friendship.
Okay.
Like, and
Yes.
those, I always feel like those are harder to see. Because, like,
Yeah.
if you're always asking the same people to hang out over and over and over again,
But they never asked.
and they never ask, yeah, exactly. Like, it's not something you immediately pick up on.
Yeah. Or like you're always texting first and they never text back. And sometimes that just has to do with absent-mindedness on the other person's part. But
Nicole
to a
just looked
certain
right
point.
at me when that. said that.
To a certain point. No, I was actually thinking of someone else, but you just happened to be right there.
Okay.
No,
I am
I'm
a little
sorry,
absent-minded when it comes to texting. Because I read people's texts and then
Yeah, and then
forget to answer.
Yeah.
It's okay, though.
I will not lie. I read people's texts, say, hey, I don't want to talk to them, and I leave them on read for approximately 24 hours before.
Dang.
Like, it's from, like, maybe an hour to 24 hours before I respond. Like, if I just am not in the mood to talk to people that day, I won't text you back. That doesn't mean I hate you. It just means that I don't want to deal with whatever subject has come up.
yeah, I mean,
That's fair.
it's just a continuous thing. Like if someone's always texting you or if you're always texting someone, they're never texting you back.
It's like
or-
there's not the shared investment in
Yeah.
the friendship. There's only one person who's invested
sure.
in actually.
And,
Having
okay,
that
so
friendship.
let's come up with our master list of identifying...
Okay.
Yeah.
I have more stories actually.
Oh, okay, yeah, let's
More
dive into that.
stories.
More toxicity, different kinds of toxicity. So again, like, okay, we talked about the emotional one where you just don't feel good about that person, not having the same investment. Were those the only two we talked about?
so far, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. So you kind of mentioned friend groups. And I wanted to talk about that, especially trios, because girls typically, I don't know, girls typically get into groups of 3. Sorry, Taighe.
I never got into a group of 3.
I will tell you that lots and lots of girls, especially like going into middle school,
Going into high school.
going into high school, typically group into 3s. I don't know why, but it happens a lot. And I would say that most of the drama that happens at our school is in those girl groups of 3, whether they're part of a bigger friend group or not. And to me, that's because you could all be hanging out, which is all good and fun, but especially if you don't have other friends outside of those 2 other people, you're gonna get left out in something. 2 people are gonna hang out and you're not gonna be the one hanging out with them, and you're not gonna have anyone to hang out with, and it's gonna make you feel bad. Or the other way around, like, you'll be hanging out with someone and then the other person is left out, and of course you're gonna feel great and awesome and be like, yeah, we're best buddies, and then that can lead to eventual rifts. If you hang out with one person in that group more than the other, you're gonna become closer just naturally, and then that person's gonna be left out and drama will of course start.
Yeah.
I will not lie.
From personal experience.
Senior perspective, I've been watching this for at least 4 years now. We have one group, especially in my grade, that is nearly 100% females. And it's a large group. It's also like the popular girls, I could say.
Yeah.
For those listening to the podcast, quotation marks in popular. Anyways, what happens the most is like there are a lot of conflicting personalities in that group, I will not lie, which over time lead to especially large amounts of drama.
And I think that especially is in really big groups
Yeah.
of friends.
Yeah.
Really large
Like,
friend groups.
we noticed last year, there were a lot of big friend groups, and this year almost all of them just
Dissipated.
Yeah, it's so
Dissipated.
weird because you see these groups inside of the friend groups, and then that's kind of what happened. It like got
It just
so
broke
big
up
that it
into
just
the-
broke up.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really interesting to observe those types of changes.
You guys weren't here for this last year, but there was this one group named Pangea.
Oh, Pangea.
Yeah, exactly. Really, really, really large group, and it started with one bit of drama, and at the end of the year, Pangea was no more. Continuing with what I was saying,
I mean, Pangea was no more. I love that.
Yeah, exactly. In fact, actually, I think I'm that group this year. My friend
Nice.
it's not the breaking apart group. We're not like that. We're not having that bit of drama that sparked around this time last year. Anyways, and it was the second one. I don't ever remember the second Pangea. But getting back to what I was saying earlier with the large female group in my grade and the conflicting personalities, there have been some pretty neat stories this year, I will not lie, especially with a lot of spam accounts on Instagram posting photos of snakes of the other person. Snakes, common term nowadays.
Gotcha.
And it especially happens around school events like prom and homecoming, where in one case people were physically cropped out of an image.
Wow.
Oh yeah, it was beautiful.
That's rough.
You should have seen this one. She was in the middle of the photo, okay? So half of it was cropped. You get to see her hand on the hips of somebody else's shoulder, and there's a straight line in the middle, like obvious cutting.
Oh.
Yeah, it was special. And it was because she invited somebody else that wasn't like officially invited, but was still part of the same group. Yeah, it's not exactly good.
Horrible.
But also, and this is a part coming from a male perspective, guys don't gossip that much. Like, we'll talk about like other students and whatnot, but like those conversations are 5-minute max. Whereas
It's like hours. We are going to go to every single detail of her life.
Whereas with other like groups, especially I've seen with females, and like I like to call myself like a friend whore.
Okay.
I'm friends with as many people as I can be, but if I don't like you, you're not my friend. It's pretty simple. Anyways,
Oh, nice.
I've literally stood in groups and we've talked about drama upon drama upon drama and like gossip this and gossip that, and now I know so many so much more about this person than that person, and that person didn't actually want me to. It gets long and confusing, right? But that doesn't happen with my main group. It's like drama doesn't exist in ours. It's beautiful.
That's so great.
It's beautiful.
Which is why our Pangea won't split up until college.
I believe in you.
Wow.
Why don't you listen back onto this
be
podcast
like,
and be like, oh.
Okay,
No.
you mentioned cropping of photos, and something came to mind.
Oh my god.
I've
Technology involved, in,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
social media
Social
involved
media,
with friendships.
I feel like this is an episode on its own, but we'll introduce it now.
Yeah, we'll introduce it. So, social media. Who wants to take a stab?
Okay, well,
you don't have social media.
I
so
do not have
you.
social media,
Okay.
but
you did.
You
No, I didn't. I've never had
no.
social media, but
But not, yeah, okay. I agree.
like,
I've never had social media, but it's like a secondhand thing.
Uh-huh.
Like
Yeah.
I am still getting it through other people, basically.
But yeah, it's,
I just experience it through other people because, of course, people are going to show me their Instagrams, and I'm going to still see comments. And with one of my older toxic friendships that is now over, there was tons of social media drama with people chatting over Instagram. DMs, that's what you call it. And sorry, I was like, that's what the kids call it these days. Coming back to the people of 3, there was a couple people that in that group of 3 that became really good friends, and I was the one that got left out, even though the people who were really close friends, who became really close friends when I was left out, were the ones that were constantly fighting. Mm-hmm. So these 2 are constantly fighting. I'm caught in the middle. Some random accident happened and I was the one that got booted out. And me being the only one that didn't have social media, I couldn't see what those other 2 people were doing and saying about me
I feel like that's almost better
on
though.
social media.
'Cause-
It could be better, but what they probably knew and what I didn't is that if I'm not there to see what they're saying, I'm never going to know the things that they're saying about me.
That's true.
So for example, comments and photos be like, you should take that out, or are you guys even still friends, blah 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 blah, or all the posts, any post, even if it didn't have to do with me, that I was in a picture of, completely deleted, and that kind of stuff.
yeah.
Speaking of social media, I do have a story. And it's with a person you guys may know, and I'm not going to say the names because this is a podcast. Haha, I got the rules.
Good job.
This is my first time. I still know what I'm doing. And this person just sent me image upon image of image with memes. Yes, apparently there's a meme culture. I am not part of it. I'll let you know this. And it wasn't that the memes were like bad. I mean, they weren't my taste. Personally, I'd say they were on the lower side of quality, but that's fine. But the problem was that I was getting a meme at least once an hour. Now imagine me, a person who rarely uses social media, having a phone buzz and getting an Instagram message saying, DM, this person sent you an image. And it's like, oh, thanks. But not only that, but the memes were all like affiliated to one group I am not part of. And it was like, okay, let me explain. They were all LGBTQ memes, like making fun of this or that. And me as a straight person who has never once considered being, like, I support the group, but I'm not part of the group, if that makes sense. Okay, affiliate, I should say. It was just not to my interest. But like I said, memes at least once an hour up till, like, 11 o'clock at night. It wasn't exactly a fun thing to have. And at one point, I started to ignore them, right? Trying to lay off the messages early, saying, hey, this isn't me. And it turned out that infuriated them. And so at one point, it was just getting a notification, and then the other point, it was like they were yelling at me for not giving them attention. And so it became just this moment where I had to explain, like, sit them down and say, look, it's not what I want, it's not how I should react, and so social media, no fun.
Nice story.
Yeah, no, that's actually very...
I think that's a common one.
Yeah.
Especially with the meme culture of this generation.
Yeah.
It's like, you can tell someone anything you want through a meme. It kind of, like, avoids, like...
It avoids the main
Seriousness.
topic,
Yeah.
the serious topic. And you could make fun of stuff that you probably wouldn't normally, like, make fun of stuff in person, which is a common theme in social media. And then the other thing is like, if you are kind of, like, sending a message to a person and they reject it, you could just play it off as, oh, I know, like, that meme totally sucked, I just wanted to show you how bad it was, or, yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny, or it was such a flop, blah, blah, blah. You could just play it off, like, whatever message you were trying to send with that meme, like Taighe was saying about LGBT memes, like, making fun of queer people.
Yeah.
If you sent that to someone and they're like, no, I'm not interested in that, you could be like, oh, I just wanted to show you, like, what a flop it was. Like, we should blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Instead of actually what that person was probably originally saying is, yeah, LGBT people, like, should be made fun of and are, like, serious people and shouldn't be taken seriously. So.
Yeah, and just, like, seeing those memes out there, it's just, like, I don't know, it's like people just view who you are as just something to make fun of, and then when people send those to you in, like, a funny way, or people say certain jokes in school, and like, no, that's not really funny, but
They think it is.
I guess I'll laugh because otherwise I'm unsafe or something like that.
Yeah,
even.
especially when you're in a group of people that you don't know that well. The other day I heard a ton of people making fun of the LGBTQ community, but I was, like, the only one out of my friend group, or out of any queer people that I knew that was there, and so I just didn't say anything because you're kind of putting yourself out there as, like, a lone person, and if you don't have somebody to back you up, it doesn't feel safe, like you said.
Sure. So we're going to have to wrap this up pretty soon. We're at 19 minutes, I think.
Yeah, okay.
So,
I think we're good. Technically, like, 15-20 minutes,
yeah.
but...
Okay, but,
It's okay.
toxic friendships, stay away.
Yeah. We talked about, like...
They make you really
What-
unhappy.
Yeah, what kind of friendships are toxic?
Okay, so wait,
how
here
to
are
recognize them.
the indicators. Are we ready to list
Yeah.
the indicators? Okay, if you're just not happy.
If you're not happy, and if people are talking about you.
Yeah.
If you put more into the relationship than you're getting.
What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh, if you're fighting a lot with your friend.
Yeah, and just
Over
on a
stupid
daily
stuff.
basis, you're just you're just unhappy about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? How to avoid them? How to?
I mean, it's all basically just, I want to say common sense, but at the same time it's not. You have to be able to recognize it.
Yeah, I feel like
and
most of it is just recognizing what it is.
Yeah, and I agree. And if I have to leave like something on a note, it's that learn to recognize them and stick with the ones that you can tell are mutual. The ones that you enjoy as much as the other person. And that seems like a no shoot Sherlock. Yes, I don't know swearing policies.
You're doing
Yeah.
great.
You're doing great.
But like, yeah, it seems like one of those moments, but like once that happens, woo, enlightenment.
Yeah.
I feel like it's about taking care of yourself. Like, lots of people are like, don't be selfish, you should be thinking about yourself. But in these kind of situations, you should be thinking about yourself, because
honestly,
even
it's
if you're
kind of
putting
you
something-
first.
Yeah, it's with any relationship, I think. If you're not healthy and happy, then that relationship is not healthy and happy. So you need to make sure that you're healthy and happy on your own, and also healthy and happy in that relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like a saying or whatever. It's like, you know, a relationship should make a whole, or like you make me whole or something. You should be whole on your own.
I agree.
Yeah, like, wait, I totally had something amazing to say. Oh, yeah. It can be really hard to get out of these toxic friendships, too, because you don't even recognize it. Like, a lot of, this is going way farther, but, like, people trapped in loveless marriages or unhappy marriages, it doesn't work. It doesn't work, so just...
Toxic relationships don't work. Take care of yourself.
Yes.
Thank you for
All
listening.
right, thanks so much for listening.
We'll do more episodes.
Thank you to
on
surprise
this.
guest
Yeah,
Ty.
there's actually,
Bye.
I believe there's a part 2 to this coming on Monday.
Yes.
All right, so we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Tune
All right.
in. Subscribe!